Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is chock full of content between the regular mode, the extra mode, all of the different arenas with the boss battles. You even have a post-game mode with Magalore's epilogue. You have tons of brand new mini games in Merry Magoland and tons of different missions and requests in order to complete this game completely. And yes, the 100% this time around is a lot, and I mean a lot harder. Today, I want to tell you there's actually a way to go above and beyond the regular 100%. There's extra stuff that even HAL Labs added that goes beyond the 100%. If you want to get the true 100% of this game, I'm going to show you what you have to do and the stuff that this game requires from us. But first, I want to start off talking about what you have to do for the game's 100% completion. For you to have that 100% badge in this game, what are the requirements? Well, let me tell you. First off, you must fully complete the main mode and the extra mode, which means going through every single level and defeating Magalore at the very end of the game, and doing this twice, because it's the regular one and the little bit harder version, which isn't too bad, honestly. This is not going to run you that much time either. It's kind of a fast playthrough of both of these, and even collecting all the energy spheres in both of these isn't going to be bad, because you have to once again do that as well. And this version of the game actually makes it easier to collect energy spheres. They give you the abilities that you need in the same rooms that you need those abilities to collect these energy spheres, and you won't have too much of an issue with this. This isn't too bad. This is just going to be a lot of time going through both of these games, or technically the same game twice. Next up, you have to complete the challenge rooms within the lore star cutter for both modes, where it gives you an ability and you have to beat the room and collect the coins in order to get a high score by beating it quickly and also collecting all the coins and taking out every enemy along your way. You can finish with any badge. It just has to be bronze, silver, or gold to technically get this 100%, but I'll come back to this later, trust me. Next, you need to clear all the stages in Magalore Epilogue and defeat the final boss. This includes getting the extra stage. Now, you don't have to actually beat the extra stage in order to get your 100%, which you easily can. It's not that bad, it's just very long, but all you have to do is unlock this stage, and to unlock it, you have to get at least a gold medal on every single mission. To earn gold medals, you have to carry combos for a very long time and string your attacks piece by piece, and also try not to get hit by enemies because it will reset your combo counter. You will not only want to move quickly, but efficiently. But this is where you start to see the difficulty spike. Not only do you have to clear the arena, but you must clear the true arena for the 100%. In the original game, the true arena wasn't too terrible, and it wasn't amongst one of the harder ones within the Kirby franchise, because I still leave that to Triple Deluxe and Planet Robobot. But for sure, without a doubt, the true arena in Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is very difficult. Not only does it pit you up against every X version of the bosses in the game, but also the versions of the bosses you fight in Magalore's epilogue. All together, there are so many bosses to take down with very limited health resource in between battles, so you have to play smart. That includes the final boss fights you'll have in every mode, even against Master Crown from Magalore's epilogue, in a new version of Magalore's Soul in this game that changes greatly and adds way more attacks for this guy. Oh yeah, and don't forget that Galactonite returns from Kirby's Return to Dreamland on the Wii. As personal advice, I would go with the hammer ability and just kind of trial and error through the bosses. Learn their attack patterns and you should be able to find ways to avoid some of their stronger attacks. The hammer is still one of the most powerful items in Kirby history, and if you use the dash spin attack, you will always dodge attacks. Just remember the big ones and know how to get out of the way at the right time, and just focus on little hits. You don't have to charge up your hammer and do hammer flips all the time. Just little hits will rack up enough damage eventually. Keep spinning around and hitting them when you can. And remember, there is no time limit. Take your time and only attack when you feel like it's the safest opportunity. And the hardest part of this whole thing was something I wasn't even expecting, and that is the mini-games in Merry Magoland. There's a book of 100 missions to complete and a set of missions for every mini-game, and some of these missions are flat out insane. Now, I can give some advice for some of these missions and ways to cheese them. I believe for the Kirby Shootout minigame, you can actually use your finger to touch your screen in handheld mode, which I actually recommend you play a lot of these minigames in handheld mode. It's quicker, there's not as much input lag, and you can just, kind of focus a lot more. I found it easier for me to play in handheld. I saw a lot of people online struggling with Smash Ride, and actually this is one of the few ones I didn't struggle that much. And maybe it's because it's a lack of clarity with some of the missions. One of the missions actually has you knock off all of the different members of the Squeak Squad. Now, you don't have to continue to knock them all off, every single one that appears. And if you miss one, it's okay, wait for the next one to spawn. It only requires you to knock off all the different types of Squeak Squad members, because some of them will respawn even if an opponent knocks them off. Don't worry, just wait for the next one to spawn. You only have to knock off one of each. The big mouse is the only one that can be a little bit difficult, but you should not have too many problems with this if you just focus and relax. Crackety Hack is very annoying because it comes down to you having to hit that rock at the right moment. The charge ups aren't as important as that last hit, but there is a mission that requires you to come in first place twice on the hardest difficulty, which means you have to nearly be perfect both times, and you have to do this twice in a row. This is really just a trial and error thing. Definitely play in handheld just to limit that input lag, and yeah, just keep trying. You will eventually get it. That's all I had to do, was just keep trying over and over and over again. The egg minigame mission can be very misleading because there's one that has you have to complete the extra hard mode, or at least level 3, and you don't actually have to collect every egg on that difficulty. You just have to complete it, which means don't eat a bomb. Collect a couple of eggs and just don't eat a bomb, you'll be fine. Beating level 3, and there's a lot of missions that revolve around this, can be very difficult in the Samurai Kirby minigame. And the way I found this to be the most useful is to definitely play in handheld mode. This is the quickest response time you are going to get, and put on a pair of headphones. I cranked up the volume as high as it could possibly go, so that way I kind of freaked out and immediately pressed the button as soon as I heard some loud noise. Don't look, because you can hear sounds faster than you see things. Play in handheld, put your headphones on, and close your eyes. As soon as you hear the sound, push the button, and you should always consistently get 16 or lower this way. These results you're seeing right now are all for me playing on my television, and I just could not get lower than 19, sometimes barely 18. But yeah, I just feel like a lot of the time it might be due to your TV and your input lag. Definitely play in handheld the most you can. If you're having any issues on Checkerboard Chase, just let everybody fight each other and just find ways to get out of the way until the very end. Lots of the time, they'll actually die to the stage getting smaller and smaller, and you may not even have to do much work at all. Just definitely move around. The slow version definitely was harder for me just because it's so long and boring and you're moving so slow, but definitely just walk around and let them fight each other for a while. Well, now you've got your 100%, but something's not quite right. You don't have that classic theme playing when you got your 100% in the Wii version. There's some stuff on my screen that probably doesn't match the stuff on your screen. Well, let me tell you, because there's actually a true 100% that it doesn't show you how to get it. Well, let me tell you what you need to do. Since there's no official way for me to 100% know what the game requires for you to get this true 100%, I got every single challenge within the Lore Star Cutter to the Platinum Medal, which is extremely difficult, let me warn you. Some of these are very difficult, and there's even the ones in the hard mode, which you have to complete as well, getting all of these to Platinum. Now, maybe that's not the case, maybe you just need to at least get them all to Gold, but I got not only all of these to Platinum, but also all the ones in Magolor Epilogue. Also completely maxed out all of Magolor's magic skills. You get special dialogue for doing so as well, like for instance for the Magic Sphere, it says so much power, this attack might even be a match for a certain spherical someone. Kind of referencing Kirby there, it's a funny little gag. But in order to do this, it didn't take me long, just completing all the missions and going for all of these medals. Definitely got me to where I needed to max out Magolor, and if you don't, just do the extra mission at the end multiple times. You'll get like 6,000, 7,000 magic points each time you play it, so it's pretty cool. This is where it makes you want to actually pull your teeth out. Mary Magdalene actually gives you true extra missions at the end, adding 20 new extra missions, and these missions are incredible. Like seriously, incredible. I got just extremely lucky with some of them, but they really, really ramp up the difficulty. Let me try to tell you a couple. For the dojo, they want you to get 8 bullseyes in a single game on the final level of difficulty, which is very difficult and is lots of trial and error. In the blaster game, you can't get hit one time on the hardest difficulty, which means you'll probably be resetting over and over again and trying to protect yourself by hiding in a corner. If you thought winning Crackety Hack twice in a row on the hardest difficulty was already crazy, try doing it 3 times in a row on the hardest difficulty. Yep, it is a pain in the butt and probably the most difficult challenge in this game. Hope I may have lied, because try catching 28 eggs on the hardest difficulty. Yeah, it is seriously unbelievable. I got extremely lucky by just opening and closing at the perfect times by just hoping that I was getting the eggs in my mouth and not the bombs. Also, try collecting 20 tomes and Magolor's tome trackers. Man, this is super incredibly difficult, and you have to do this on the hardest difficulty. I don't even know how to tell you guys to perform this one. I mean, honestly, just stand in the middle of the room and just hope and pray that you get the tomes that are closest to you and start making your way closer to the ones that you think could be up, and it's really just a guessing game. And you will barely be able to reach 20. Now, some of these games you can actually cheat by actually adding extra controllers for, you know, your multiplayer friends and stuff, but just don't have anyone play. Just have the controller sit there and let you kind of rack up all the points. Some of the missions actually only require one CPU to be present, so this should make things a lot easier for you. You do all that, you'll get a nice shiny badge at the top right of the screen with some crowns and a bonus song for your jukebox. You also need to unlock all the movies, and you'll get this special movie with everybody dancing on stage with the 2 new copyability enemies in the crowd, and also Galactonite and Magalore will be in the front of the crowd watching as well. You also need to get all the songs for the jukebox, and you'll probably notice you're missing some at the very end. Well, there's some secret parts of stages that you might have to go back and visit. Go to Nutty Noon and go to stage 5, climb up the ladder, and before going in the main door, float to the top and go through the graded door where you'll actually have a different set of boss battle rooms to fight in, which is pretty cool. You'll go through there and there'll be a new song for you to listen to as well once you complete it, and you have to do the same exact thing on the extra mode. You'll also need to complete all the HAL rooms and find them all. So for the first one, go to World 1-4 and go to this section, go to the top right of this area, and then reverse, go back to the area that you just completed, and you'll notice all the platforms have fallen, and you can go through this little hole in order to find the first room. Second one is in Egg Engines level 5. Go all the way to the second section where you see all the different Halcondrians, or Halcondrins, however you pronounce them, walking on treadmills. Make your way all the way up to the top of the treadmill and go through the little hole in which they came from. The third HAL room, go to the second stage of Dangerous Dinner and make your way all the way to the end of the super long hallway. And before you go to the door, just sit and wait for a while, and after about a minute and a half, all the different platforms will rise again, allowing you to go backward into a secret HAL room using another special ability. And there's an extra one in the Magalore epilogue, but I don't think it adds a new song. In the hub world, go to the very top left of the entire hub world, and then to the very top right of the entire hub world, and then make your way down to World 2 in the lava area, and then drop through this platform. You'll find a bonus stage there. This should give you all the songs and tracks that you're missing from the game, giving you a gold music note just the same way you got a gold camera for all the different movies. And then you will officially finally hear the theme song playing just like this. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool because you get some cool pictures and portraits that you get to save, and also some cool moments and stuff in Merry Magoland where even it goes at night and it shows you the whole theme park and stuff with fireworks. It's really, really cool. But there's a lot that goes into getting this true 100%. And it definitely feels rewarding for the truest of completionists out there. This was awesome that HAL added all this stuff. Some of these missions were a lot of overkill, like completing the same mission 4 or 5 times. Well, really, I think it was the max of 3 times on the hardest difficulty, which is a lot. But yeah, there's also a stamp card I think you can technically get to 100. I don't know what it does or if it does anything, but it doesn't seem to add anything to the true 100% from what I've seen so far. And I'm just waiting to do that when I play with my friends and stuff. There's no point of me grinding multiplayer games with myself. I could just play them with my friends and unlock those stamp cards. Also, if you don't have all the masks, this is what they all look like. Oh yeah, and it also adds a new theme park song for when you enter the theme park now. So here's all of that to end the video. It was definitely fun going for this 100% completion, and it definitely did pull out the full completionist in me. Let me know if you guys went for this or if you guys are planning to go for it, and also let me know in the comments down below if you guys are really struggling with the Merry Magaland missions, because I might even make a full video talking about all the hardest missions and how to beat them and giving tips for each game in more depth. But thank you so much for tuning in. If this helped you at all, if you enjoyed this video, if you love Kirby, stop what you're doing and subscribe. Help us to continue to grow and make more content for you guys. This means so much. But thank you so much for tuning in. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.